the Republican Party has lifted the smoking ban for inside of Congress or on Capitol Hill. So now they're allowed to smoke. And they've always been, I didn't know this, allowed to smoke within their offices, but they weren't allowed to just out with everyone, which makes a whole lot of sense, just like how now you can't smoke in restaurants because of the effect that has on other people. Think about other people occasionally, God forbid. But Tucker Carlson brought Republican Congressman Troy Nehls onto his program, and they had such a strange conversation. I did not even know how to process this when I came across it. To give you a sense, and we'll look at a little bit more from this than just this moment I'll show you in a second, but this is how Troy Nehls was introduced by Tucker Carlson, kind of how this segment was introduced. Take a look.
Joins us tonight. Congressman, grateful that you're here, willing to stand up for the most American of all pleasures, which is tobacco. Sorry to say it, it's true, it founded the country. Joins us tonight.
Wait, is the stance now that we need to fight for the poor tobacco lobby? We need to get smoking back into our schools to root our children in the real American values? It is really strange how Tucker Carlson, sometimes I think just out of his obsession of being hated by the left, will take any stance that you can possibly dream up in your mind that is as absurd as possible. Like, thank you for standing up for tobacco and the usage of tobacco, when we know the concern is not, oh, people don't love tobacco enough or people aren't smoking enough. It's those activities are damaging people, are dangerous to people. And so if the topic is brought up, we need to make clear to people they should be careful, because you can end up with lung cancer or whatever it might be. But here is more from this interview. The whole ordeal is just weird, for lack of a more intellectual term. Take a look.
Tell us why it's important for you to burn a cigar occasionally in your office.
Well, thank you for having me, Tucker. It's all about freedom. It's interesting that dishonest media and those they want to complain about little...
I'm sorry. We're going to continue it. I have to already stop this. It's about freedom? What are you talking about? Freedom doesn't mean that in a particular workspace you have the right to smoke into people's faces. And he is saying that the reason he should have a right to smoke a cigar wherever the stink he wants on Capitol Hill is because of freedom. Very fascinating.
Smoke coming out of my cigar. They don't want to talk about the inflation or the crime or the southern border. And people have been enjoying cigars. Nations leaders, world leaders, from Winston Churchill to United States presidents, from Andrew Jackson to Theodore Roosevelt, Nixon, JFK, they like smoking their cigars. We even know that Bill Clinton, he enjoyed.
And take note, if you're watching this in video form, of Tucker Carlson, when they're talking about cigars, very concerned, very serious discussion going on, at least if you were to read his eyes.
He enjoyed a good cigar every once in a while. So I don't know what all the hoopla is all about. You're right. In 2007, under Pelosi, she said you cannot smoke cigars in the Capitol building, i.e. you can't smoke cigars on the House floor or in committee hearings. But it did not include members' offices. So a member's house office, we've always been able to smoke cigars. There are many of us in the cigar caucus, about 30 of us, that enjoy a good cigar in our office, and we do so. Nancy Pelosi, for 2 years, I've been smoking cigars. Nobody complains about it. But now they want to come after us because we're in the majority. This is typical from the left. They want to infringe on our rights. They want to complain about our smoke. They're probably complaining about maybe my aftershave or the color of my tie. It doesn't end.
So I'm so lost with what on earth he's trying to communicate there. Listen, I get that you're going to go on Tucker Carlson and be dishonest. That's why people go on Tucker Carlson unless they're arguing with them. But I don't understand why you can't structure your dishonesty a little bit more logically. Because there you went from saying, under Nancy Pelosi, I was able to smoke in my office and no one had a problem. But now I should have the freedom to smoke in my office because I like cigars and I'm in a cigar caucus, and the Democratic Party is all fed up with me for something that I've been doing for a super long time. No, They're fed up, if they are. I haven't seen that much talk about it, but what fed upness there is in regard to the Republican Party taking away the ban on smoking in the more public areas, in the shared spaces. So how this relates to your private freedom to smoke a cigar, I really don't know. And why it's important to the Republican Party, one of their earliest actions while they've been in the majority was to lift this ban. Why that's a priority, I have no clue. And it seems so kind of rolling back the clock on time, because I thought we got past the idea that it's perfectly okay for you to risk someone else's health in a bunch of different situations, but with smoking specifically, and just blow smoke where they're going to have to breathe that in without their consent. It is really wild, and shows the absurdity of many of these Republican politicians, including Troy Nehls. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be a part of what makes this show possible, plus get access to the full video version of the show hours before any of the clips are uploaded to YouTube, plus get a full extra show every single Saturday, you can do so by going to patreon.com/Luke Beasley. That's patreon.com/Luke Beasley, and there's a link in the description.